afford the basic necessities of life. When you finish all this, let's even assume that you are not a Muslim, your grave might not be like this. But we and best you can get is to have a tomb house over you, and the tomb house too is not also a very big building. So at the end of it, we all end somewhere. So now that we are alive, to those that are serving, to those that are reporting, to those that are holding one position or the other, you will either be remembered by the problems you created or the ones that you solve. So it is a time for us to look inward, look at ourselves, look at the positions that we have been given in the past, how we used it, look at the position that we are currently occupying, and for some of us that are also aspiring to have positions, what will you do when you eventually get there? Dr. Ruben Abati, I remember he wrote something when he left with President Jonathan. He said, the phones are no longer ringing. Meaning that when you leave that position, this your larger than life attitude, thinking that you have everything, thinking that you are in control of everything, will no longer be there. And at the end of the day, it will just be you, what you have done, and that little grave where you end. And for those of us that believe
We've been talking of 10 million, 8 million, 10 million, 8 million that he returned in many of, even 12 million, that he returned in many of those elections. Is that movement still on? Or is it just about the man?
Well, the movement, to a large extent, I'd say, is still on. We cannot say 100% that it's there, because recently you find some actors, try to shift base and form a, quote-unquote coalition. That is the actors in 2015. Some of them, very few though. But with the governance structure of the current administration, a political force that will, pave way to improving upon the political gains and the numeracy of those that voted Muhammad Buhari. So the movement is still on. It's larger. Positive democratic political force is on. We believe in Buhari, and we're carrying on with Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR.
I may have to pose the same question.
Profound ways. Either so many people agree or not, it is evolving for us to understand the reality of an ideologically driven political environment, which these two people share. So if we describe Buhari as a social democrat, we describe Bola Ahmed Tinubu as a social democrat. And we see a congruence of sorts in the policies they believe in the policy they have conceptualized under different circumstances, but essentially we are saying that it dovetails to the people. And that's the most important thing. And therefore, if Buhari's immediate objective While some people are trying to compare the merger of 2015, crystallized in 2015, with the coalition of 20. Who is the head of a sovereign administration ready to impact the lives of the Nigerian poor? Because that's what the Tax Act is all about. It's all about increasing revenue. Yes, we generate revenue, increase revenue, but it's more about elevating the economic status of millions, more than 30% of the Nigerian of politics that we experience going very, very, very different, from the ones we have been experiencing before.
We are looking at live pictures from Daura, the streets leading to the residence of the former president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, late President Muhammadu Bhuhari. Very shortly, we would give you live pictures from the grave site as Nigerians and eminent Nigerians, family members enter into the compound. As once we get steady pictures from there, naturally there will be some push and shove as you are getting closer to the grave site. We showed you pictures from the grave site, but very shortly we would be back there once our cameramen get steady shots from there. But this is just the street outside the fence of the house, and then we'll get better pictures shortly. As you can see, outside brokers' vans from different media establishments also trying to get a vantage point to capture the moment. While we reflect on this, Doctor, this is just a day, but it is perhaps to reflect on the entire life of a man who has served the nation, in some cases made some controversial comments himself and handled controversial situations, and but for one thing, he remained steadfast to his beliefs, and in his own way for 8 years, tried to shape the direction of state. As we begin to, round off, and of course, once we get signals and then wrap up the funeral rites, we will also be left with our thoughts of him as the nation bids him farewell. But in terms of, public administration, which you are a part of, what are your takeaways from the life he lived and the farewell being given to him by Nigerians?
Well, my takeaway is that you need to just generally be a good person. You have to have principles, you have to have integrity, you have to live for something and die for something, and you have to have the understanding that there is a higher calling which everybody should strive to. Ultimately, Lord, and by so doing, any whether it's public service, whether it's civil service, whether it's just business, your relationship with people and how you project that worship in terms of your relationship is also part of worship. But then let me intervene in the previous question that you asked about this 12 million votes, whether it's now
still intact or
yes.
there are splinters.
First of all, God gives power. Millions, has been the years, and for me, the way I see it, would have been happy as APC if you were alive in 2027 to come and also raise the hand of President Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. It would have been 2017. For those that were relying on that to happen as a way of cheat, to easy way to win the election, well, President Muhammadu Bhuhari is no more. But then the God's power to whom he wants is still there. So while we go back spiritual to pray to God to give us that direction, especially in this difficult time that we've lost a colossus and someone that we all converge around, it is also important for us his demise to restrategic planning, and one of our plans was relying on him. Now he's no more, and the votes are there. They are like lost sheep now. It's going to
the Chief of Defense Staff, Armed Forces of Nigeria, General CG and Staff AFR, sir.
Immediately after appealing to the entire country that you have to have the spread as stated in the constitution that 24 out of 24
Committal process begins now for former President Muhammadu Buhari. The national flag is being folded and will be handed over to a member of the Buhari family. Right, so this is tradition. This flag is a symbol of Nigeria. It's a national flag. Muhammad, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, first as military president and later as democratically elected president of the federal. The process is concluded now. That flag.
The body to be committed to Mother Earth. And watching this process, of course, is the president and the vice president. We see them seated, waiting for this process to end. So the body.
Yeah, the moment now, the flag is being handed over.
It's been handed over to a member of the family. And a salute to the same member by the military force. Okay. This is symbolic, showing respect for the former president. We see the vice president, Kashim Shettima, approaching the body, the graveside, as the national flag has been handed over. We also see the national flag being removed from the body of the former president, Muhammadu Buhari. I would expect that next is committing the body to Mother Earth.
Indeed, any moment now, the body of former President Muhammadu Buhari would be interred. We see some of the dignitaries standing there around the body. It's quite a busy scene there, but our cameraman is doing his best to give us a shot as close as possible of the process. The body being lowered there.
Here prayers being made.
Fatima has led for the loan towards the remains of His Excellency the late President. And the final name is committed to act. While we are doing that, the President of Ghana, the President of Guinea-Bissau, the representative of the President of Chad Republic, and the former President of Niger, Mohamed Yusuf, and distinguished members of the National Assembly, members of the Federal Executive Council, and the Prime Minister of Niger Republic is also here. And we are finally able to hear of His Excellency, the last President, Bhuhari. We have governments of the United Nations, governments, captains of industries, head of service teams, and other head of security agencies, chairman and chief executive officers of various agencies and seconds, from governments of Safina, Governor of American Lamasani, and Baraka Ibrahim Shema, the Deputy Governor and Excellency President of Ghana, is also here, and now the final process of the program will be taking place. The former Minister of Communication, Ashok Ibrahim Ahmed Antoni, is also here. The Secretary, the Minister of Budget and Planning, the Minister of Budget and Economic Planning, the Honorable Minister of Housing, and
an kwaba wata Okay, guys. Ba a son yawan surutu a makabarta, jama'a ai haƙuri.
Saura kuma bayan ba sa da tun daga abin aikin. Okay, right. What we're about to witness is the firing of the Bhuhari for the parent party. The parent party commander is taking charge. After the firing, we shall also witness the governor. Akwai kwanciyar samun sashi da muke gudun ta da jama'a don da wanda ke tsakiya su koma don akwai busa ta rurri. Once again, Mr. Walking should step backwards for the tiring of the room. After the road is covered, then we shall have the firing of the road.
We have live coverage still coming from Dara, the residence of former President Muhammad Bhuhari, where his body has just been committed to Mother Earth. Here in the studio, I have my colleagues Olamide Adeyemi and Nifemi Oguntoye. Special coverage of the state